going on right now and waste no time.
I will have to drop a sellout message here, boys, just before we get into the game.
Hashtag sellout, boys.
So these tournaments happen thanks to our sponsors, and we're out here today really to give credit to the GTX 1060. You guys have heard of this. It's one of their latest video cards that's come out really to compete, and we have to say it's the right graphic card for esports. And for those of you who have GTX 980s, I think most of us do have it, the GTX 1060 delivers the exact same performance as a 980, but at twice the energy efficiency. So it's built for speed and it's optimized for performance per watt. And that's our sponsor's message for now.
Moment over, guys. Apologies. And now we're back straight to the game, and as you can see, big lead established by Elab with 3 of the top net worths on their side. Over a 15,000 gold lead and over a 10,000 experience lead for them. And this is going to be pretty tough for K4 to catch up here. And, oh god. Mega's Sand King is gonna go down here, and Axe does catch him, and there's no escaping for this Sand King. He's dead. Axe doesn't even bother to spend the mana there. And Radix is playing a Shadow Demon. Oh my. Okay. Excuse me, guys. I'm so confused. So it seems that Radix is playing a support this game. Mage being on the Juggernaut is normal, but Radix actually let GH go for the carry Naga instead, and then they swapped roles. Very selfless plays from the 2 teammates. And K4 really have no way of exiting their base. They have a Dusa this game, but the Dusa is so underfarmed. And Mage is just ignoring anything they throw at him at this point. And he will take out this tower and make his way out of there. And now using the disruption images with the Naga to just roll over. It is important to note that GH's Naga is terrifying and won them a CSL tournament on its own against Bendover. And Sherb's taking some damage here, but he looks to make it out of there. While Mage just gets more farm under his belt. Heathen's trying to create some space, and he's just doing whatever he can to get his shotgun build online. I mean, if he does, there is 2 squishy supports that he can blow up on the side of Elab, being the Shadow Demon and the Disruptor. But the Naga illusions are gonna start adding up over time. And GH really knows how to make this a frustrating game for his opponents. I've seen him do it before. And his use of the song is better than... It's one of the best I've seen, truthfully, in Dota 2. Like, GH knows exactly when to use the song. And he eventually gets a Octarine core, and then he can spam that song even more times, and it's just so frustrating to play against. And they are blocking the Ancients over here, just restricting K4's farm. As you can see, K4 are falling further and further behind here, and still only 1 kill to their name. Who has it, guys? Who has it? Definitely not the Ogre. It is the Oracle. Not exactly the hero. And they get another kill there with Radix blowing up to Heathens. That's something. they'll take that. That's 516 gold going Heathen's way, and that gets him very close to completing his shotgun build. That is surprisingly a very big moment for K4. Oh, and Sherbs goes down too, and 1,008 gold going Ogre Magi's way. And Mage has to get out of here, and they're going in on Mage. Heathens almost takes him out, and what is happening with Elab? Are they throwing this? In a matter of seconds, the game has swung significantly. And though the dip seems minor on these graphs, I assure you, it is a large dip considering he has now a few hundred away from completing his shotgun. When I say shotgun, guys, I mean Abyssal Blade. Most of you that don't know. So, very interesting so far how it's going for these teams. I mean, we entered the game and it was looking to be a blowout by Elab, but K4 are showing some heart and spirit, and this Morphling shows that he can still go ham on any of the Elab heroes, and they don't exactly have the perfect tools to deal with them right now. Alright, and K4 are gonna try and push out the lanes just a little bit for some respite, because I think they're sick of being pinned into their base, and they're gonna get a little braver now, especially after those few kills that Heathens was able to instigate with his Morphling. And he does have his Ethereal Blade up, but they are moving for Roshan. When I say they, I mean Elab, and they do have Ein trying to make sure he breaks a smoke if they do try and come and interrupt this Roshan attempt. And I don't think K4 are even gonna try and contest this. No, they're not. They're just gonna let it go. And it is gonna be Mage to pick up this Aegis, while GH just continues to farm like a monster. They are going for a smoke. It is a little late though, but they could catch out. Ein is also smoked up. And will that throw them off? No, they seem to still be going around something like that. And a scan is dropped by the Dire, and it does miss them. Oh, and the scan turns red, and they know they're coming. Perfectly placed scan by Elab, and they do break, but Mage blows up and he loses the Aegis. He knew they were there. I'm not sure what he was doing. Although GH comes in, and the terror, that's GH. Oh, they mistime it. And they actually escape. And they could be punished for this. They are going on Heathens. This would be a huge kill if they manage to get it. Heathen's taking some heavy damage, and he does go down to the hammer of Axe. And so does Ogre Magi. I mean, the fight was largely in favor of Elab, but it could have been more in their favor. I mean, they took away that Aegis from Mage's Juggernaut instantly. And this could be curtains for K4. Unless they pull off a miraculous defense, I'm not sure about buyback status. They have buyback, but on the wrong hero. And I don't think they can defend this until Morphling comes back. Not posturing too hard yet, and here comes the Juggernaut. He's their siege engine, and he starts swinging away. And his healing ward is just keeping him nice and healthy. And there's the Octarine Core I spoke about on that Naga. GH is now going to abuse his Song of the Siren on cooldown non-stop to do as much tower damage as possible, as efficiently as possible. And Heathen's just trying his best to farm up another item before this engagement, or probably even his buyback would be more important. Nice regen rune there for Ein to pick up, but he does leave it for Radjix. And that is a Skadi completed on this Juggernaut. Is pretty terrifying. Yet to die, aside from losing that Aegis. So how are they gonna try and tame this man? They do make a move on the Morphling, but he does just get out of there, and he is in no trouble. Mage, Juggernaut, and this Naga in specific is just gonna be hell to deal with. GH is like a robot. With Naga, he just does not stop farming. And Sherb's also taking over the jungle alongside Radjix. And really, again, forcing K4 to get stuck. And they're basically pinned inside their base. And K4 tried to escape this stranglehold that Elab had when they got a few kills. But then 3 of them died by the Rosh Pit. And GH gets out of there. Very safe, very calm, very calculated, and now an illusion rune. Quite a nice one for GH to get. And this is when he's gonna start ratting out all different lanes at once. And as you can see, all lanes closing in on K4's base right now. And when the time is right and when GH gets 6 slotted, that is when they're gonna make their move. And not necessarily even including GH, he will still be bouncing around the map. They do make a move on Sherbs. And the axe does take some heavy damage, but they almost trap Shiro, and Shiro manages to get out. He gets glimpsed back, and Shiro is hidden for now. But he will look to get out, and Mage being gone on by Heathens, and Mage does get out of there, and he will be fine. And this looks to be where an engagement will be happening. And GH nowhere in sight. All the way back in base right now. And here comes the Illusion Army. Going straight for the racks. And that's the Rat Dota I was talking about. Very difficult to stop here. And Mage goes in for Shiro and decides to disengage there. And he will look to get out of there. He's still chasing, but he's gonna think better of it. Oh, and it's dodged by Mage. Beautifully played. Almost asking for it and then blink dodging it. Perfect. And here comes the illusions again. And all lanes are being pushed in. And this slow siege is starting to hurt. There goes a tier 3 down to Mage. And GH gives away his gem and gets his butterfly. Quasi 6 slotted. I'm sure he can still replace that Ring of Aquila. And pushing both the... Oh, they're taking out the towers so fast here. The illusions are doing too much damage. And K4 also lose one of the racks mid. And K4 must realize by now that this is a slow, painful death. And they have to try something. A smoke, something. They can't just sit here. This is a losing fight. And they do catch Mage, but Mage doesn't seem to care much, and Mage goes in. and more images come in, more illusions. And the top lane is now being pushed in. The mid racks is going down to GH. GH takes out the mid racks. They're taking out the bottom racks too. The bottom racks does go down to Juggernaut. And there comes the sleep and the GG. And quite a ridiculously dominant performance by Elab. Almost sending another message to S&D saying, we're coming back for our title. Super exciting stuff. This isn't over for K4. They are now knocked down to the lower bracket for a rematch with the team they themselves sent down to the lower bracket, the Runts.